Here's a funeral cash plan that guarantees you free coverage in the future. Throughout your career, you have made contributions to a funeral plan. Eventually, you retire and cannot afford the premiums, and your policy expires. Are you heading in that direction? Let Diaspora Insurance take care of you. When you take out a Diaspora funeral cash plan, you'll never have to worry about this again. Your future coverage is guaranteed. You can get a free quick quote right now and start the journey to free coverage in the future when you cannot afford your premiums. Your peace of mind is only a WhatsApp message away. +44 770 3838 304 or +27 659 070 419. Get in touch now. 24/7 quote and apply at diasporainsurance.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. I hope you're having a good time. Friday is here with us, and I'm very, very excited again. Our way, Africa Women in Europe talk show. We're here with you again. The first one this year, yes, in January we start now. Very active, very vibrant, and I hope you have been seeing what's going on around on our platform and also activities that you can get engaged with. But today we have our special guest. Today and actually the whole year, we'll be talking more about diaspora. What does it mean to be a diaspora? The challenges, everything, and the good time, the bad time, everything included. This is a theme that will carry us all through. So I want to thank you, everyone who's listening. Let me know where you're listening us from. You can put that on a comment. Keep ourselves engaged here. This is an interactive discussion. So you are welcome anytime to ask questions, to put them there. I'll be able to see them here, and I can see you are all joining us from different platforms on Facebook as well as YouTube. As well, I saw on Twitter, but I think there was an issue there. But we are live and also recorded later for those listeners who cannot stay with us throughout. You can watch this again. This is recorded on our YouTube channel, which is Africa Women in Europe Facebook, as well as on Facebook pages. So let me know where you're listening us from. I always like to know. I want to welcome you here put up for me on the chat where you're listening us from as we welcome our guests today, because today's discussion is quite interesting. And today probably we'll be talking more about challenges that we face as diaspora. We come in Europe. Some of you who don't know me, and I need to also announce myself. My name is Joy Zenz. I'm a Kenyan living in Germany, probably half of my life now in both continents, and I'm very, very excited to be in between all these curtain, having a perfect, how do you say, a combination of a diaspora who can really maneuver both areas in different areas and challenges as well, and taking the best also from each side and putting it together, coming into Germany, knowing the language is different. There were so many challenges out there. So I am very excited because this topic we'll be talking throughout about diaspora. What does it mean? Of course, things are changing all over the world. What does it mean to you? And what is your advantage? What is your disadvantage? This will be the story that we're going on. So thank you so much with everyone who's joining us. And I want to thank you, anyone out there who are with us. Let me know where you're listening us. I can see some people here from Kenya. Welcome as well. Everyone is invited. It's an open platform. So I want to invite my guest here. And as you can see, he's very punctual, ready on time to join us. Can you hear me loud and clear? Let me know so that we can get started. And I am joined here by Dr. Edwin Tsvere. I hope I pronounce your name right. But our African names are very beautiful. Sometimes they can be challenging to ourselves. So let's Yes, I think I can hear you. Since I can hear you laughing loud. Let me hear. Just maybe introduce yourself as we get started here, because the topic today is really very interesting. The challenges of diasporans here in the diaspora, and what does it mean? The challenges that we face here. Who do they affect? How can we maneuver that? And in what area you are in? But right now, just introduce yourself and let us know where you are.
Thank you so much, Joy. It's lovely to be on our show. My name is Dr. Edwin Tsvere. I'm the channel's director for Diaspora Insurance. And as you might be aware, Diaspora Insurance is a multinational insurance company that is headquartered in Birmingham in the United Kingdom. And we are a global operation.
Wow, I like that your global operation and all that, and I can imagine you're also a diaspora, right?
Sure.
Yes, and going straight to that part of diaspora, basically just to understand, because I believe we all face the similarities of challenges as we go through the diaspora. Maneuvering ourselves in the diaspora, and especially the financial challenges that involves the death in the diaspora. What are the common financial burdens family face when when a loved one passes away abroad? I mean, just the challenges, because they're quite a lot. But today we are going to focus mainly on that one, because it's such a huge burden, especially to financial, especially that caused through individual death in the diaspora. It doesn't only affect us here in the diaspora, also affect the community back here. Or maybe you can explain to us that a little bit also, giving us situations that happen in the company as example.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, Joy. You know, diaspora death comes with a lot of challenges. It brings a lot of suffering, not only to the family in the diaspora, but even to our loved ones back home. It brings that trauma. If we are not prepared, if we are not covered, it brings that trauma of bereaving and begging. You are bereaving, and at the same time, you are running around to look for resources to give a dignified send off to your loved one. So the biggest financial challenge is bereaving and begging, because you are not even sure whether you'll be able to raise enough funds to give your loved one that send off. And sometimes, if you are not careful, you end up getting into debts where you have to unplanned debts, where you have to borrow money from friends, you have to borrow money from relatives, you have to borrow money from the employer, and you spend the rest of your life working to pay back that debt. And in most cases, you find diaspora debt involves repatriation. You find most people, they want to be buried back home in their countries of origin, and it comes with a cost, and we are talking of not less than 6,000, maybe up to Jomo Kenyatta Airport in Kenya, or up to KK International Airport in Zambia, or even RG Mugabe Airport in Zimbabwe. You need not less than 6,000 pounds or 6,000 euros up to the point of entry. We are not even talking about the other costs that you need to incur up to the burial place. And when at the point of entry, you find there are also some associated costs. You have to pay the Ministry of Health to ensure that they clear the remains of the deceased, that they are not bringing any diseases to the country. So body clearance is also a cost that brings that financial burden to the bereaved family. And in some cases, you find the personal effects or the property of the deceased needs to be shipped back home to the country of origin, and it comes at a cost as well. So in short, those are some of the financial implications that come with diaspora death, and it's not very easy. It's not easy, Joy. It's not easy.
I think I was muted there. Yeah, and I agree with you fully in terms of the challenges you said there. And it's interesting also, some things we don't see. We only see somebody being buried. You're talking about even the body to be accepted where it's supposed to go. It's still some cost incurred there. And and the other part that you also talked about, and we need to go deeper, is how the families, because this is the time you are gone as an individual, so all this burden are coming to your family. So, and you and I know, some of the many families back at home depend on us, and when you're gone, that means the financial support has stopped also to support the family that you have been supporting back at home. So meaning, if you organize yourself for that, it saves a lot of money, that instead of waiting, like those harambes, I don't know whether you have that in your country, like people pulling funds together for burial, it will be more funds for supporting the family in terms of continuation of activities like school fees. I'm just wondering on your side how that looks like on your side in terms of how, because the money, because of the way of the challenges of the family back at home.
Yes, yes, Joy. You find the concept of chango, or the Arambi concept, is common among all Africans, but in most cases the money is not enough to cater for those expenses. Talking of repatriation, for example, you find the type of casket that is used to repatriate the remains of a deceased person to their country of origin. It's not an ordinary casket that is used. It's a special type of casket which comes with a steel lining inside. And that type of casket, it doesn't come cheap. So it's expensive, and you find the health, the people who are responsible for health in that country of origin, they will check those things, they will inspect those things. So, and the other challenge with diaspora death, Joy, is that it's like when someone passes on in the diaspora, they are like two funerals. You have got the funeral in the host country where that person has died, and then back home in Africa, you find there may be two funerals in Africa. At your house in Nairobi, in Kenya, people will start congregating there. And then in your village, people will start congregating there, and they are talking about food expenses. And those people might need to travel. Some, especially in the case of a married woman passing on, you find the husband cannot do anything in the absence of someone from the wife's side. So they need to make arrangements for the relatives to travel abroad, and it doesn't come cheap. Maybe you are talking of not less than 1,600 euros per head. If there are two, you're talking of 3,200 euros for two people to travel abroad to assist you with the paperwork, or it's because it's just part of our culture. Maybe they are not even going to do any paperwork. So it's a cost. And then you talk of the other things like your food, transportation for relatives. In Africa, you know, the in-laws will say the son-in-law has to bear all the costs of their travel to bury their own daughter. And then you also have your uncles that need to travel. So you find having 2-3 vigils, funeral vigils, adds to the cost of a diaspora death. So sometimes we just need to be prepared to cater for this for these things, because you know, it's something that is bound to happen to any of us. I always tell people that you know, there are two things that are bound to happen to a human being. Once you are born, it's either you live too long into your old age. But old age is very good because you see it coming. As you celebrate your birthdays every year, you are celebrating old age. But death is a very tricky customer. It's going to happen to any one of us, but we don't know when. That's the tricky part of death. You never know when. Even a prophet cannot tell you when it's going to happen. So we just need to be prepared. Because those costs, each and everyone in the diaspora is going to face those costs.
Yeah, I can imagine, because the way you say there, death is inevitable. We're all gonna die one day. Let's talk about that, the taboo. How has that affected us, Africa, in terms of dealing with our funeral, our death, knowing that it's going to happen? Do you think the diaspora are in a different mindset? Meaning because I know the culture back at home is quite deep, but when they move to diaspora, they have an open mind. What do you think about the taboo? Does that really affect us still as diaspora here, that we still don't plan for it, knowing the consequences?
Yeah, there's a bit, Joy, there's a bit of a mindset shift with the African expatriate or the African diasporan, because now they actually see challenges of diaspora death. Every day they see GoFundMe cases all over. So, but the only challenge is that procrastination. People take time to make decisions. They'll keep on postponing to say, I know I will do it next month. I'll even call Diaspora Insurance next week. I will do it next year. By February, I will have a funeral policy. Because we attend these funeral vigils in the diaspora, and we see what happens, how families struggle, how people reach out looking for funds to give a dignified send off to their loved one. So yes, the mindset is shifted for the African diasporan, but is the procrastination now. that is a big challenge at the moment.
Yeah, I believe you, and they only see when something happened to someone else. Because I've had so many phone calls coming and out of nowhere, knowing that and they tell you they just saw one of their someone died in their family, and it was so challenging. And I agree with you. These people know that they don't know it was existing. They know it exists, and there's a way of going about it. Now that you're talking about now covering ourselves insurance, what option exists out there? Because how can funeral insurance help, or you're the one you have helped diaspora in their families? Because there's so many kind of insurances out there in regarding to that. So you have life insurance, you have quite a lot of that, and also help us to choose the right one. How do you define which one is right? And I know you're gonna go bias to yours, but what should you be looking at, and why should we take yours? And when you're considering these options.
Joy, talking about, yes, I'll be biased towards our own diaspora funeral cash plan. Why? Because it is a very unique, it's the only one of its kind in the market at the moment. And it was crafted with the diasporan in mind. Because as diasporans, we are global citizens, we are transnational citizens. So the diaspora funeral cash plan is a product that is equally transnational. What do I mean by that? You find that it's a worldwide cover. So Joy, when you sign up for the diaspora insurance, diaspora funeral cash plan, you are in Germany. And if you decide to relocate to Australia, when you get to Australia, there's no need for you to look for another funeral cover in Australia. The same cover that you took when you were in Germany will protect you worldwide. Even if you decide to relocate back home to Kenya, the same plan will still cover you. Even if you decide to travel on holiday, you are still protected. So it's a plan that has no territorial limits. And the other advantage with our plan, Joy, is that it comes on a guaranteed acceptance basis. What do we mean? That we don't expose our clients to undergo any medicals. We don't even ask those intrusive questions about their state of health. You just give us your details. The principal member gives us their copy of ID or passport, and we are good to go. And there's also immediate cover for accidental death. As soon as you pay your first premium, death occurs as a result of an accident. We pay the full amount, 20,000 euros. You get your money. And we commit to pay within 24 hours. But I have seen, Joy, instances where we have paid claims within an hour, within 2 hours. As long as the proof of death has been submitted, we are good, and we commit within 24 hours, you get your cash. And you know, cash gives you that convenience, it gives you that flexibility. That's the advantage of cash with our product. And to add more, Joy, our covers are in what we call the G7 currencies. So the G7, when you are covered under the end of the G7 currencies, you don't have to worry about inflationary loss of value. Your cover is good, it's intact. You don't have to worry about inflation. And it's like you are keeping a gold bar under your bed. So that's another huge advantage on our diaspora funeral cash plan, which happens to be our flagship at the product at the moment.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, the cash cover, I have to say, being one of your how do you say that? Who have taken a cover through this cash cover, which I took quite early because I thought this was a very great idea. As you said, it's tailor-made for diasporans, So when you say diaspora, because especially the African diaspora, we have special different culture on the way of burial than compared to the people where we are in the countries where we are residing. And it involves a lot of funeral celebration, it involves a lot of involvement. And since I got to know about it, and I have to say, we have so many groups going on that do different kind of raising money as groups, which can be also a lot of constraint, especially for groups, because they are not able to really get the real situation on the ground and the management of the money movement, right? And this has quite a challenge, especially we call them, some of them, like fair, how do you call it? The name has disappeared, but they're groups that take care of community in terms of burials. And I've seen the management, the trust can also go very wrong, right? And sometimes even you will not get the money you need, because sometimes the group was not in the right situation, and there's quite a lot of money depending on different burials and different needs. So that's quite interesting. And I have to say, anyone who's listening to us out there, you should really try go look at the funeral cash cover, right? That's the one that he mentioned. And I'm going to share with you the link here, because we have the Diaspora Insurance. Diaspora Insurance is we have a special one for you, where you can also go through there, but you can also go straight to the website and request a quote. So let's get to the real work. But before we go there, there is something I also wanted to ask about. How early should one start for a funeral expenses, because some people here are very young, say, no, I'll not die early because I don't think death there is any particular time it's set for you. But how early can they do? And does it mean that they have to pay like the whole time until because sometimes start early, meaning it's a continuous insurance? Does it stop? Maybe just give us a little bit of nuggets there, so that they can understand how this particular insurance, for Diaspora Insurance cash cover, works.
Joy, if it was possible, I would encourage people to start taking up insurance covers as soon as they are born. But the reason being, I know it's not possible, but because through our unique and versatile Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan, you find the minimum entry age on our product is 15 years. But if you check other insurance products that are available back home in Africa, and the minimum entry age is 18, some 21, but we are saying at 15, you can actually apply for your own policy. Why I encourage people to sign up for funeral covers or for insurance at a very, very early age, because the premiums are age related. So when you get the cover at an early age, you are paying less. Yes, for a bit of a longer period, but if you calculate your outlay, the total outlay is way, way less than someone who takes up the cover at an age of 50. And the other challenge from what I said earlier on, Joy, is that, death, I said you never know when it's happening. And we know death has no respect for youth. It has no respect for intellect. It has no respect for status in society. It will still come. Whether young or old, it will still come. So the earlier you prepare for your coverage, the better, because you don't know when it's going to happen. We have heard stories of students, young people committing suicide. We have heard young people being involved in accidents, some drowning, and the burden is on the community. Yes, earlier on you were talking about the concept of burial societies, and in insurance we call them self-insured schemes. But those ones come with a lot of risks, and you actually alluded to some of the risks that come with burial societies, like things going wrong, sometimes people not contributing, and those burial societies are also not regulated. And when we are talking about diaspora insurance, you are not talking about a pyramid scheme. It's a company that is authorized and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority in the United Kingdom. And being regulated in the financial hub of the world speaks volumes about who we are as a company. Whereas burial societies is just an agreement between individuals. You nominate, you select a treasurer, a chairperson, and we have seen a lot of those collapsing because of maladministration, other challenges, the executive disappearing with people's monies, wrong investment decisions being made. Whereas with a regulated entity like Diaspora Insurance, we have someone watching over us every time they are looking at what we are doing. We have to comply with the certain regulations. Even our advertising is regulated. Everything that we do as an insurance company is regulated. There's someone who is watching us.
No.
So yeah, so that should actually bring confidence to the African diaspora and to say we have got this company that is regulated, and over and above that, we are also reinsured. And it's a regulatory requirement to say you need to, reinsurance companies are big brothers to insurance companies. So we are reinsured by Africa Re, which happens to be the one of the largest reinsurance companies in the world. Even looking at the shareholding structure, it's not owned by individual business people. It's owned by 42 Africa member states, including the Africa Development Bank. And we also have 3 multinational companies, large multinational companies in the form of Allianz of Germany, AXA of France, and Fairfax of Canada as shareholders in Africa Re. So this gives us the financial muscle to underwrite any form of risk. So that's the beauty about the advantage of dealing with the diaspora insurance.
Wow. Quite informative information that is needed to be heard out there before they make their decisions way forward, because I know having a regulator is very, very important in any financial institution, and that brings up an advantage for the diaspora insurance. So some of you who are listening to us, if you have any question, put it on the comment. And I can see some of you who are coming in slowly, and some of you will be joining here also later. Welcome. I can see some hearts there, some love squeezing there. Thank you for leaving those comments out there. And just to also just to make people really understand, diaspora insurance is the same as life insurance. Not to make sure people understand the difference between the two. So between the diaspora insurance and the life insurance. So what the difference?
That's a very good question, Joy, and it's a frequently asked question from our prospects out there. You know, the funeral cash plan, or the diaspora funeral cash plan, it's meant for what we call end of life expenses. So the advantage, yes, it's good to have a life insurance cover, but the funeral component, it caters for end of life expenses. And you find with funeral insurance, there's guaranteed acceptance, especially with the diaspora funeral cash plan. You are not subjected to undergo any medicals. And there's immediate cash payout. When the proof of death is submitted to diaspora insurance, you get your cash within 24 hours. Yes, it's good to have the life cover, but you find the life cover, there are stringent underwriting requirements at onboarding. When you are signing up for the life cover, you are subjected, either if the cover is not that big, you have to answer 2-3 pages of questions about your health. They don't stop at you. They even ask about the family to say, did anyone in your family suffer from this and that? Did anyone die from this and that? Did you undergo any form of operation? So, and then at claim stage, if you pass on, there's also an underwriting. They will then go on to check if the questions that you responded to, if you responded correctly, if you disclosed everything about you. If they get or find an element of non-disclosure, that claim is repudiated. So that's the risk with a life cover. You might feel or you might think that you have left a fortune to your family, but that claim can be repudiated. So it calls for honesty. You know, insurance, we talk of what we call the principle of uberi me fides, which is utmost good faith. So if you fail to disclose anything about yourself, that money will not be paid. And the other disadvantage with a life policy, it only covers one person. Whereas with a diaspora funeral cash plan, you can cover the whole clan. You can cover yourself, your spouse, up to a maximum of 6 children. You can cover your parents, your in-laws, your cousins, your sisters, your aunties, because we were brought up differently. You know, the African setup, maybe you were raised by your mother's sister, you were raised by your father's young brother or big brother, your uncles. And it is your responsibility. If that person passes on, it is your responsibility to make sure that you give them a dignified send-off because they looked after you.
Okay.
So that's the difference in a nutshell. But we can go to town, we can write a dissertation about the difference between a funeral cover and the life cover.
And the other part that you also mentioned that, and also I would also want to emphasize here, and maybe you can mention, is that the beauty about the diaspora insurance is that you can cover also your people back at home. As soon as you take it as a diaspora, you can add your parents, you can add your relative. Could you mention a little bit about that, the model of the cash cover?
Kuzi? No. Okay. I lost you.
Or did you hear me?
No, I'd actually lost you. So I'm not sure if it's my end or it was your end.
Oh, sorry. No, we were seeing you there. So the funeral cash cover, what I wanted to mention to people here is that it does. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you, Joy.
Okay. It does cover also your people back at home. So that means if you're diaspora insurance, if you take it from here, cash cover, you can add your relatives, your family. Maybe you can mention about the beauty of the cash cover.
Yes, Joy. Like I said at the beginning, that this product was crafted with the transnational citizen in mind, because you find in most cases, people back home in Africa, they actually look up to us. Should anything happen back home, we are the first people to receive that call that normally comes around 3 a.m., 4 a.m. to say Uncle so and so has passed on, your sister has passed on. So the diaspora funeral cash plan, we allow our clients to extend the cover to cover their loved ones back home in Africa, up to a maximum of 5,000 euro. You can cover the whole clan back home, but at the same time, as part of treating our customers fairly, we don't encourage them to overcommit. You can bite what you can chew at any given time. The diaspora funeral cash plan is very flexible. It allows you to increase the cover at any time. You can add more people. You can reduce the number of people. You can reduce your cover. It's a very flexible product.
Wow. Yeah, thank you for that. And I can see people here are a little bit also listening. very keenly. I know it's a topic that is not liked, but we are going to preach this over and over again and tell you the beauty about getting yourself a funeral cash cover. We're already going almost over with our questions. But if you have any question, please answer on the chat. But over to you, back to you, just to ask just a general question with the giving us feedback stories of those people who have already had they have already benefited from the funeral cash cover. Maybe a story that you can give us that was a very good came in very good feedback from the people who were taking the insurance, so that people can hear in what scenario was this person in and how did it benefit them on your side. Maybe you can give us one case story of a situation that was a very good benefit for the person.
Yes, Joy. From the time we started as Diaspora Insurance 13 years ago, we have paid in excess of $5 million to bereaved families worldwide. And
Wow.
we have a lot of our clients we have benefited through this plan. I can give a case of our client from Kenya, Mrs. Kichanga Jensen, who lost a 21-year-old son in Austria last year, but one in 2023. And we paid the claim, and even our CEO managed to travel all the way to Austria to pay his last respects on behalf of Diaspora Insurance, because we believe us and our clients, we are a family together. And what we do, Joy, to us is not a business, it's a calling, because we understand the challenges that are faced by the African diaspora. Not only did we do that, you find when the remains of Eric, the son, were repatriated back to Nairobi, we even assigned one of our senior managers to travel with the family all the way from, he joined them from UK, they were traveling from Austria, and he was with the family until the day of the burial in Nairobi. For 7 days, he was there representing Diaspora. So we don't end when you sign up for your policy. We are always with you until the end. So because you are a family to us, and we are also a family to you. And like I said, what we do is not a business, but it's a calling, because we understand the challenges that are faced by the African expatriate, especially in the event of diaspora death.
Yeah, and also there's something before we close, and as because I haven't seen any question, but I'll check on other platform. Is which countries? Because I know you cover Africa. I think you have quite a number of countries that you're covering right now. And which other diaspora? Is it global? Anyone in anywhere in the diaspora can get the cash funeral cash cover?
Yes, Joy. I think when we started the show, I spoke about the fact that Diaspora Insurance is a global operation. So we do cover 19 African nationalities at the moment, wherever they are in the world, as long as they are outside their country of birth. Our definition of a diasporan is anyone living outside their country of birth.
Even
So
if
we are
it's living in Uganda, you're already a diaspora.
Yes, you're a diasporan, and you qualify for our cover, by the way.
Okay.
If from Kenya, you're in Tanzania, you qualify for our cover. So, yeah, that's the definition of a diasporan. So I was saying that we do cover 19 African nationalities. So we are talking of the whole of the SADC region, except Lesotho, in the SADC region. And then we have in East Africa, we are talking of Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Ethiopia, Central Africa, DR Congo, West Africa, we cover Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon, Sierra Leone, and the Gambia. And we have more countries knocking on our doors, and we are hoping that we are going to increase the numbers maybe by mid-year or before end of 2025, because they are seeing what we are doing to the African community. And they are approaching us to say, but we are Africans, why are you leaving us out? So that's what we are currently doing, Joy. And yes.
Wow. So the last question that I have here is the process. So how is the process from the beginning to the end to really get to get your quotation and finally starting to pay your funeral cash cover? So could you walk us through the process?
The process is very simple and straightforward, Joy. You have already shared that link. So if people can click that link, send us their details, and we have our professionals who will get in touch and walk you through the product. And before you know it, you have your peace of mind guaranteed. And what we just, in terms of documents, what we need from the applicant, the main applicant, is just a copy of their ID or passport, or copy ID or passport or driver's license. You know, the KYC requirement, it's a regulatory requirement. But for the core lives, or for people who are covered on the policy, we only require documentation in the event of death. But on application, no documents are required, except for the main member who is applying for the policy. So it's straightforward. I can guarantee you within 5 minutes you are done. You start enjoying your peace of mind. You have your cover in place. So just click that link, send your details to us, or you can even go to our website. But I would urge you to click that link.
Please, I've shared with you on the chat. You can see that. If not, I'll share it also on other platform. And I know I asked you when you can start, but do you have a maximum age that you cover?
Yes, Joy. I spoke about the minimum entry age, where I said that 15 someone can apply for the policy, but we also have a maximum entry age. Maximum entry age is 74, age next birthday 75. So the maximum above 75 we don't cover. But this is on application or at application stage. That's when we talk about the maximum entry age. If you sign up, let's say you're 74, it means you only pay your premiums up to the age of 85. So you're just paying for 11 years. And then after the 11 years, you start enjoying free cover. You stop paying and you are covered for life. And that's another huge advantage, Joy. Why?
Yeah.
Because the type of covers that you get in the developed world, they only cover you up to around 65 or 70 at most, and then the cover falls off. But with the diaspora insurance, we are saying you'll be covered for life. After 85, you stop paying and you remain covered for life. So it is a product that you can actually, that is also ideal for our diaspora children, our children who were born in the diaspora, because those ones have no links with Africa. They are not Africans. They are German. They are British, because they were born in the UK. As much as we might take them to Serengeti National Park back home in Africa, but they are not Africans. So it's also, so you find what I have also seen, Joy, is that diaspora burial has become also very expensive. You are talking of not less than 9,800 euros for someone to be buried in Germany. £9,800 for someone to be buried in the UK. So it's actually cheaper for you to be for your remains to be repatriated back home than to be buried abroad. But with the Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan, it's possible. The choice is yours. You can even opt for cremation. You can opt to be repatriated. You can opt for burial abroad. You can even do reverse repatriation. Reverse repatriation, this is where I've traveled back home to Africa and something happens to me. I can decide, because my children can actually say, no, we want our father to be buried back in the UK. So my remains can actually be taken back to the UK. That's what we call reverse repatriation. You are being repatriated from your country of birth back abroad. And it's happening a lot.
Oh, wow.
Especially with women. We have grandchildren in the diaspora. They are saying, I want to be buried where my grandkids can put flowers on my grave every weekend.
Wow.
And it's possible with the Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan.
Wow, I didn't look at it that way. It's quite interesting. And also, what of packages? Because I know there's a area of, but I think it all depends on each individual person. But I think there's an amount that you have that you give maximum and minimum.
Yes, Joy. We have minimum cover, but normally when our sales advisors engage with our clients, they actually recommend a cover that is suitable to the person's needs. Yes, we have our maximum cover is 20,000 euros or 20,000 pounds for the United Kingdom. But for USA, you can go up to 30,000 US dollars. That's our maximum cover for USA, and Canada, again, is 30,000, Australia, 30,000, New Zealand, 30,000. Asia, it's 20,000 US dollars. So, but we normally recommend to say for you, depending on your needs, to say for you, you actually need this type of cover. But at the same time, we don't want our clients to overcommit. Affordability is also very, very important.
Okay, that means if I want, I sometimes, I think I saw one, I don't know whether it was UK, you have the horses riding like it's a wedding or a queen being carried. So it's up to me how I want to be buried and how
Yes.
my
Yes.
You know, funeral sounds so sad and everything, but how I've seen on your platform, you make it even beautiful because it's stress free and you have an option to bury someone in dignity and not remembering them on contributing money or saving the money as much as you can just to get rid of this body, you know. It's really a dignity way of living. So I want to thank you so much for joining, because we just reached the maximum time, and anyone who is listening to us, please check www.diasporainsurance.com/AWE or without it. Request for a meeting, an appointment. You get an appointment where you're going to have someone to really discuss with you, because every person is different and requests are different, ages are different. So to get your quote, and from there, you can start paying your premiums. So this is something that I really appreciate you coming here over and over. We are going to continue preaching this song until all the diaspora stop procrastinating. As I understand, we have stopped. We know what we need to do, but now we need to take actions. And procrastination is going to be one of the last one. And I know many of you out there have been doing that. Quite a lot of my close friends, if you're one of them, please get this cash cover plan following www.diasporainsurance.com. So is there any parting shot you want to leave my listeners with?
Yes, Joy. With the Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan, we can actually say bye-bye to GoFundMe. Yes, there's that tendency for us to use this very nice way to GoFundMe. But to me, that's bereaving and begging, full stop. no matter we use nice words to make it look nice, but it's believing and begging. And we can stop. And we, as the African diasporan or African expatriate, it's within our it's just a matter of us making a decision to put a stop to GoFundMe. Get yourself protected, start enjoying that peace of mind. Click on that link and get yourself covered. Tonight, we actually have people in our call center right now. So if you reach out to them, you'll get answered. They can progress your cover and you start enjoying your peace of mind tonight.
Thank you, guys. There you go. You have people waiting for your phone call or your text. They can call you any time of the hours because they know you're all over the world, morning, afternoon, evening. And if you have any question, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We can always follow up with you and help you to guide, because sometimes it takes quite a lot of time to convince some of you, but that's why we keep coming here every other year. Diaspora Insurance, thank you for being very, very committed on this. Whenever we call you, you come here to really continue this. And as I said, today's topic was about diaspora. Today we're talking about the challenges. What does it mean to be a diaspora? This time we're talking about funeral cash cover. How do you cover yourself? How do you protect your family also here and back at home? Because you don't affect only one person, you also affect the other one. So I want to thank you so much for joining us, and I wish you a lovely weekend and a safe journey. I know you're traveling and to South Africa, meeting other diasporans there as well, and pass our regards on the other side.
Thank you very much, Joy, and a very good evening to our viewers. Thank you and good night.
Good night. So back to you guys there. I hope this was a very, very educative time for you. I hope you learned something new. You learn how to really protect your family here and back at home. This is one of the shows we'll be bringing back to you. This show is also going to be going back again to a blog show where you can also listen it as well, and in audio or visual is also recorded. Feel free to do that. But I would also want to remind you that we'll be coming back again next month with other topics, especially about investing in yourself with your money as well. This one was about yourself. Next one will be more about money. But before we get there, I also want to make a short announcement that we have been preaching to some of you out there who know us for some years. We meet every other year. So next year we are meeting again at the Diaspora. We are meeting again in Denmark. The Awe Summit and Award is coming now again. It was there in 2023, and last year was more country events. And here we are having the Awe Summit, 7th of June. As we speak right now, tickets are out there. We have early bird tickets going on, and I'll be sharing with you the link, how to get to know about the event and how you can register and join us, because this is a place where we network and meet finally in person. Most of our activities are online, but this time is a way to come and meet us in person, discuss with us. And the topic of as you can see there on the screen, is the topic is quite interesting. It's about the strategic role of the African diaspora in the AFCFTA integrations. Now, this is about trade. If you're interested in businesses and investing in Africa and promoting your community at large where you are, this is the best event to come to. We have very prominent speakers who will be coming in. So prepare yourself. 7th of June. It's a Saturday, so no excuse. You have enough time to plan. Book your ticket on Eventbrite, and I'll be sharing it on the chat so that you can continue communicating. Otherwise, I wish you a lovely weekend and see you again next month with a different topic about investing. And I look forward to networking with you again. Reach out anytime on our website, as you all know. to see all the activities that we do, that you're not left out, because it's quite a lot that's happening on the platform. Our website is www.africawomenineurope.eu. That's the one there, africawomenineurope.eu. You can also reach us on email, info@africawomenineurope.eu as well. We are happy to respond to you and really support you as an individual in the diaspora, in most of the case, in terms of linking you up with the right people to bring you to the next stage. And I'm very excited. We are going to do this again and meet you in person. So thank you so much. And I wish you a lovely evening. And remember that we need to cover ourselves in life after death, because that way we will be remembered who we are, rather than what were other planning on us, saving money on us. So let's be smart, diaspora. Let's save that money. Let's plan our death, funeral. Death is inevitable, as you heard. And I leave you with this message from the Diaspora Insurance, how you can really, really support yourself as well, and see how to help also your family back at home in the same cash cover. Thank you.
Are you living in the diaspora without funeral insurance? What if your spouse or child dies? How are you going to fund the funeral? A GoFundMe fundraiser is the most painful way to say goodbye to someone you love. Do not rely on begging. Instead, contact Diaspora Insurance. Protect yourself and your family. Coverage is up to a maximum of $20,000, or pound or euro per life. Visit diasporainsurance.com. Are you living in the diaspora without funeral insurance? What if your spouse or child dies? How are you going to fund the funeral? A GoFundMe fundraiser is the most painful way to say goodbye to someone you love. Do not rely on begging. Instead, contact Diaspora Insurance. Protect yourself and your family. Coverage is up to a maximum of $20,000, or pound or euro per life. Visit diasporainsurance.com.